Hi guys, Mr. G here. Let's just go over the test that you had written, some corrections, what went wrong, and what can be done better, so that we avoid the same mistakes. Question one, guys, worth 7 marks. You are given a triangle actually with vertices A, B, C, and the coordinates are given. And it is indicated that the point M is actually the midpoint of AC. So at this point, you were actually revising what you had in grade 10, okay? So if we look at coordinates of M, we know that this is going to be x at A plus x at B over 2 and y at A plus y at B all over 2. And what will this be then? It's a matter of substitution. X at A is 1, okay? And sorry, this should be C, okay? So it should be A and C, not A and B, right? So X at A is -3 and X at B is -5. So let's put that X at A -3, X at C 1, and then there's a 2, Y at A is 1, and Y at C is 5, all over 2. And you can see now this is going to be a -2 divided by 2 is a -1. -4 divided by 2 is a -2. It was quite disappointing to see that some of you could not get these 2 marks. B, calculate the length of BM, leaving your answer in simple set form. So you've got the coordinates of M now. This is -1 and -2. So BM, you know, using the distance formula. So in this case, I'll start first. I prefer starting this way. Of course, there are 2 versions. It's your choice on which one you go with. So in my case, I start with this and I just substitute. I know that this has got to be x at B minus x at M all squared plus y at B minus y at M all squared, just in case you forgot. X at B is a -5. X at M, we just found it, is a -2. Now be careful. I'm going to say minus, and I substitute the -2 there, plus what is y at B? Y at B is -3 minus what is y at M? Y at M is -2, so clearly I made a mistake here. This was supposed to be actually a -1, all right? If you pick that, bravo, you're paying attention, good. So this thing here becomes a -4 squared. Just want to go through this step by step. This is -3 plus 2, which is a -1 squared. So you can see we've got actually a 16 plus 1, so this is 17. But this is BM squared, not BM. So BM will be the square root of 17. That's it. That's all you had to do, guys, right? Great stuff. Let's move on. Calculate the equation of the line through A. This line passes through A, but is parallel to BC. So if we were to just have a rough sketch, this line is somewhere here, okay? Just something like this passing is parallel. This one does not really look parallel, but you would just do that rough sketch, okay? So that you can get a clear picture of what you're doing. So it passed through A, but it's parallel to this. What do we know about parallel lines? The gradients are equal. So do I know the gradient of line BC? Well, I think I can quickly find that BC, the gradient will be changing Y over changing X. You see, this was just a matter of routine things, guys. So this will be -3 plus 5 all over -5 minus 1. And then this simplifies, rather the numerator simplifies to a 2, and this down here simplifies to a -6. And we can see as a simple fraction, this is just -1 over 3. Does this make sense? Yes, because BC we can see has a negative slope. So this answer is definitely correct. Now, to start with, my equation will be -1 over 3x plus C or Q, whichever constant you feel like using for the y-intercept. Now I must find the y-intercept, right? What is the y-intercept? Well, it seems like there is a y-intercept here, but Remember, this was drawn roughly, not accurately. So I've got to verify. I must substitute point A because that's the only point I know passes on this line. So point A has the coordinates -3 and 1. So this is 1, which is -1 over 3 into x. There is -3 plus c. Then I can see that negative will deal with the -3, deals with the 3. Then I've got 1 equals to 1 plus c, which means c is 0. As a matter of fact, what is surprisingly interesting is the fact that there is no y-intercept. As a matter of fact, y-intercept is 0. If we were, so that means correctly drawn, this line passes somewhere there on the origin, and it goes somewhere there. Yeah, if we can adjust it, it is something of this nature. That's what we've got. And I think, yeah, it makes some sense. So you can see now your final equation. Let me write this in red. Y is -1 over 3 x, and that's it. You are done. All 7 marks in the bag. I think some of you, the mistakes were just negative signs that got you there. And just remember my advice, guys. I've always said this: use brackets when you substitute negative numbers. Please, whether it's an expression with a negative constant, whatever it may be, as long as there's a negative number, help yourself and use brackets so that you can simplify correctly. We'll move on to question 2 and 3 in the next video. I'll leave it here for now. Cheers.